The attitude changes. I am having such a hard time trying to figure out what to do. My wife cheated on me the first time before we were married. We were living together and went out to the bar. It turned out that one of our friends knew the owner, and after the bar closed, we were allowed to stay. Well, I went out for a smoke and got locked out. She spent the night with one of the bartenders while I freaked and called the police. Of course, we were wasted. Anyway, she tells me she did not sleep with him. I suppose I do believe that. This was in 2014 or so. So, there was no infidelity again until October 2020. On our anniversary, she went out with a friend and did not return until the next morning. She told me that she stayed at her brother's. Recently, she said yes, stuff happened that night but no bonding. We separated for about a month, and in that time, she started sleeping with him. It ended and we got back together with the intention of working it out. I moved back and then we moved to a larger city and things just did not change. She ended up leaving in mid-June of 2021. At the end of June, our nephew passed, and this was very difficult on both of us. He came to me for advice and I would help him through difficult times. We were very close. My wife and I decided that everything that we had issues with was worth working out, and she said the little things don't matter anymore. So again, we decided to work on our marriage. I was living about 2 hours away and I moved back within the week. 3 days later, she was at her friend's and refused to come home. I went over there and confronted her. She told me she wasn't sure if she wanted me living there anymore. I told her that she had made her decision and I left. Since then, she has slept with 3 different people and is now pregnant by one of them. Over the last 3 months, she has been telling me that she wants me back and she made horrible mistakes. This last guy she was with, she had been seeing up until 2 weeks ago. How serious could she be about me if she is telling me she misses me and wants me back but still be pursuing this other guy? What the hell? I told her I didn't know if I wanted to be with her and I needed to continue to think about it. So, was it okay for her to sleep around because I didn't say yes right away? Shouldn't she have been trying to get me back, or at least not see someone else? Anyway, in the meantime, I have missed her and have wanted her back. I am so much more unhappy than I ever was with her before. I want to be there for her because I still love her. I believe I can accept the infidelity and this new child, but I have the trust issue still. She has told me that she is sorry and that she loves me and this will not happen again. Of course, I believe her because I want to. I need some perspective. The past is the past, but what if this happens again? Should I even be thinking about going back to her? I should mention that we have a 6-year-old son together and I also miss him. I know he needs me and I need him. Just to add this, the last 3 guys were when we were technically separated, and she said she didn't think I would take her back. Not trying to justify anything. I do still consider it cheating, but I guess I look at it as these are more forgivable. And I am 100% sure my son is mine. All I want is my family back. But I want it back with communication. Our biggest problem was always not talking. And I have to say we have done a lot of that and soul searching in the last 2 weeks. Maybe I am just looking for someone to say it's okay and everything will be fine. Maybe I should just give up. Marriage used to be sacred, now it's just a convenience. I am a man and I do know the difference between right and wrong. That is why I never cheated on her in our marriage or outside of it. Since the day I met her, I have been faithful. Yes, I do have low self-esteem, but look at what I have gone through. I haven't mentioned yet that I was married before too and have a child with her as well. My first wife also cheated on me, and that is why it ended with her. After my first marriage, I regretted not trying harder, and that is one of the main reasons I am still hopeful of reconciliation with my current spouse. I absolutely admit that I have issues, but I do know I am a good man and I do not try to hurt others. Perhaps my biggest flaw is that I am too nice and forgiving. Maybe I should become a jerk and not take others into consideration. Maybe I should become a man's man and control her and not let her be herself. Maybe I should stop thinking about my son and his welfare. Sorry, not trying to be argumentative, but doesn't anyone think I should stick it out? Right now, if I divorce her, I will feel like I gave up. I guess if I decide to be with her or not, I have a lot of healing to do. And yes, counseling needs to be involved either way. I have been beat down and ripped apart. My heart is crushed and it will take a long time to fix. Final update. In the end, I made the difficult decision to divorce my wife. Despite my love for her and my son, I couldn't ignore the trust issues and the repeated infidelity. I realized that I needed to focus on my own well-being and healing before I could truly be there for my family. The process was long and grueling, but in the end, I was able to come to terms with what had happened and move on. I sought out counseling and worked through my feelings of anger, hurt, and disappointment. I realized that my self-worth was not tied to my relationship with my wife and that I was deserving of love and respect in a relationship. The divorce was finalized, and I was granted joint custody of my son. Despite the sadness and heartache of the ending of my marriage, I felt a sense of peace and closure. I knew that I had made the right decision for myself and my family. As I move forward, I will always cherish the memories of my family and the love that we shared. But I am also excited for what the future holds and the possibility of finding love and happiness again. The journey may not be easy, but I am ready to embrace it with open arms and a positive outlook. My comment: the best thing you can do for your son is be a good example. The worst thing you can do for your son is be a bad example. If, 15 years from now, your son came to you and told you that his girlfriend locked him out of his apartment so she could sleep with another man, would you advise him to dump her or talk it out? If you have divorced his mother, improved yourself, and have good relations with women, you'll be able to speak with authority on cutting your losses. If he knows that you're married to his mother, who regularly cheats on you, he'll think that's the natural state of relationships. Story 2. Well, this very early morning I had a very insightful talk with my wife finally, just from trying to understand why she didn't want me being affectionate with her. The truth is, she just wants to exist in the same house and same bed with me. That means no affection, no intimacy, no bonding, no saying I love you. She has built apparently lots of resentment towards me since we started having kids, according to her. That I had never took the initiative to plan things for us or even help her around the house or anything. That I would walk into the house after work and not say anything to her or anyone. She says she no longer has the desire to sleep with me, be intimate with me, be affectionate with me, or even say I love you. She says that it's just fine existing with me in the same house and same bed. She says that she has given me plenty of chances to make things better, showing me how to do things, and I still wouldn't do them. But she could not remember the efforts I took to try and make things better or put up with her parents living in and out of our house, disrespect me in front of her parents or sisters. She refuses to forgive me of any wrongdoing that I have ever done. I have never, ever cheated on her, emotionally abused her, or even hit her. All I have done is love her to the core. She told me that this entire issue that I have with her is because she won't be sleeping with me. That when she would have slept with me, I'm a different person. She says that I need to talk to someone about how I'm feeling, therapist. She says that I have never given her time to herself, totally untrue. So, the good things that I have done have absolutely no credibility with her. Every time her parents would stay with us, she would become a different person. She says that I am arrogant, self-centered. Since when does wanting affection, bonding, intimacy, and saying I love you become arrogant? She is no longer in love with me but loves me. She says she is not going to change how she feels at this point. That if I can't live just and exist with her, that I need to find someone else that will give that to me. So, there it is, the entire truth is revealed. Her and I are both 36 years old. We married at 22 years old. We dated for 5 months and then got married. We met online. I'm going to go talk to someone, and based on what the therapist says, I will decide what to do. I love her a lot, but she doesn't feel the same way as I do. Not once ever had she said to me, "Thank you so much for putting up with my parents being here with us, and I love you for it." I need not to hurt or feel sad first or even scared before I can pull plug. I told her I love her very much, that I want to be with her, and that I want her to want to be with me in all the ways. I guess it's time to get prescribed anti-meds so I won't hurt and figure out from there. All I feel at this point from her is pure coldness. As a matter of fact, I blame this all on her parents being around. Mind you, when her parents were not staying with us, she was a different person, but according to her, she just bit her tongue. So maybe I should pull plug. She told me straight out, she's not in love with me anymore, but she does love me. She is fine with us existing, like her parents do, like my parents do. Except our marriages have been together for a much longer time. See, what she is denying to herself is, with her parents being around all the time, there is no alone time for her, like there was when they were not here. And rather to admit that, she prefers without saying to just blame no alone time and lack of balance on me. I don't want a therapist to tell me what decision to make, just why is it hard for me to walk away if that's what I decide to do. How to not hurt as I do. How to be able to see the happiness that the future holds or awaits me. I think I in a way fell back in love with her, and that's what is making it hard for me, but I don't know that for sure. I think maybe she has made her decision to just be with her parents and are of kids, of course. I didn't mention this. As far as the bonding goes, per her, she has at all no desire for bonding, and God gave me a hand. I think she's resentful that she has no self-time, downside of having your parents with you. She has overpowered me somehow, but I'm going to need the therapist to help me find myself again, to help me re-strengthen. The fact that she is not really a sensitive person makes it really hard. I don't even sleep good at night anymore. She doesn't really have time alone anymore cause her parents are with us, and she has raised her standards of a relationship. She wants someone that can take charge and take care of her, and she forgets that she is the kind of person that is very picky on things like that. It all has to be perfect. Part of what makes it hard dealing with my wife is she rely on doesn't show her emotions, except if it's that she is annoyed or whatever. As one of you said is right. She is no longer acting as a wife towards me. I'm just a doormat at this point. She has ruined my self-esteem. She has trashed my identity. I'm not depressed anymore, I'm just sad. Sad about the situation and how harsh she has become. I make more than my wife, but that doesn't matter. I've become extremely resentful because she is a totally different person when her parents would be around, and that I have been placed on the back burner. I know her father is not well, but he's walking, talking, etc. He just can't do heavy stuff anymore. This morning we got into a little argument again because apparently I followed her upstairs and asked her why she didn't just lay in bed for a few minutes like she did before. See what I'm talking about? Basically, I've become the doormat for all frustration and irritation that everyone else is causing her, and I'm paying the price. I told her on a side note, I rather her plan things like vacations or events or whatever, because she is better at doing that than me. I gave her a strong compliment. I have always supported her and complimented her in the things she does. All I ask in return is affection, her love, bonding, affirmation. The good stuff. That's what drives my motivation, nothing else does. There is no privacy in my house anymore, and it has driven me crazy. I have slowly started to back off and not talk to her much now. I told her earlier when we were arguing that she is starting to push me away, and her response, of course from anger or whatever, was good. She told me before that whenever she doesn't have slept with me and gives me affection, that I start having an attitude and act the way I have been acting, in other words, that I can't function without it. Well, those are needs that motivate me. If she knows that these things are key to making me a great person emotionally, why can't she fulfill this so I can take care of everything that would help her 100%? Because she herself doesn't need these things to function. She feels that there is no need to give me these things, so I'm a happy person. But she would always expect me to rub her feet, give her a massage, do a whole bunch of house besides the regular, and be ahead of the game in everything. This is my argument. Give me power and motivation and makes me feel her love, and I take care of everything. No arguments, no questioning, no insecurities, nothing. But she sees and feels different about it. Just to give a quick example of how my wife is, I text her about going to marriage counseling, and no reply. Few months later, well, what I have learned is that my wife has become bitter and extremely resentful towards me. I think the emotions of her father's passing are still running wild. I'm dealing with it the best I can, but it's not easy. I am slowly trying to move on with life. My marriage in spirit has ended. My wife and I are just living together. I wanted to work things out, but she doesn't. I am now grieving. It is hard. When I see my wife at home and know that she no longer sees me as her romantic partner or lover, it hurts a lot. My family is helping me through this. I do have a lawyer and am learning my rights as a father and husband. I have given notice of kicking my mother-in-law out of my house, trying to keep things normal for my kids as much as possible. I carry lots of anger now towards her. A year later, have 4 young kids, and that is partly why I can't call it quits. The other reason is, it's hard for me to let go of 15 years. I know there are others that doing with even more time than me, but the way I look at this woman, it's very hard. I am keeping thinking about the wife she was with me before, and see who she is now, it's night and day. My comment: your wife checked out long ago. I am not sure how to tell you to accept it, but it is time you face the reality of it. You keep hanging on, you say, for your kids. Well, you are doing your kids no favor staying with a woman who doesn't want you. You are setting a bad example and creating a harmful environment. Your wife does not want to be with you. Time to stop wasting your life. Story 3. The Home. I know this might sound really stupid to some people, but hear me out please. I'm in my late 20s and I never got a career going. I have a college degree, but I could never get hired anywhere except temp jobs that weren't fulfilling. I got together with my now husband straight out of college. After 2 years of searching for meaningful work, he suggested I just go to work for his business. I'm basically his secretary and I absolutely hate it. I spend my days doing menial office tasks alone in a back room. I meet no one and communicate with no one. I have 0 friends of my own, and my husband and parents are the only people I talk to. I'm a social person that likes to be challenged, so it depresses me a lot to be isolated and doing things that take no real abilities. He says unless I can find a job that makes more than $12 an hour, which I can't, I tried for 2 years, there is no point in me complaining and I should be happy for what I have. I have become horribly depressed and sometimes even think about suicide. About 2 years ago, I started a blog that made me feel a little happier. I love writing and communicating with people, and this blog allowed me to do that. Along with the blog, I built up a following on a social media site of 15,000 people. I also was able to make about $200 per month. I know it's not much, but it was mine. It kind of became an obsession because I saw it as an escape from my depression, and it made me feel like I accomplished something. I logged onto the social media profile the other day and it was shut down. Apparently, I broke some rules, so the company deleted my profile. I've been really upset about it and looked to my husband for support. Instead, I got this: get over it, it's a stupid social media account. What, like you were going to support us on your $200 per month? Real adults start businesses that make $200 an hour. Stop being a kid. And you're in your late 20s with no career. People your age start real businesses, not stupid blogs and social media accounts. What you did might be impressive if you were 10 years younger. Get over it and start doing something real with your life. You're pathetic. Your attitude disgusts me. I wasn't crying when the account was deleted, just after he said all that. When I started crying, I just got called immature and pathetic some more. Later on, he apologized and tried to be supportive, but it didn't feel sincere. Especially since his way of cheering me up was this joke: wow, your reaction to this would make a great advertisement for that social media site. So, is it pathetic that I'm this sad over losing this? Should I just get over it and move on? Or was my husband being a jerk? Honest answers please, don't worry about hurting my feelings. I didn't read their terms of service carefully and accidentally broke one of the rules. I guess they don't give warnings, they just delete. I just logged in and it was gone. And no, I wasn't promoting anything illegal or immoral or anything like that. I have a liberal arts degree, but so do many people I know who all have decent or good jobs, so I don't know if the degree is the problem. A former friend with the exact same degree from the exact same college found a job, but I just never could. I'm outgoing in social situations, but the moment I know I'm going to be judged, like at a job interview, I completely shut down and stutter, turn red in the face, start sweating, and just get really nervous in general. So, you can guess how all my job interviews went. I can't find a new job because of my husband. He says he needs me at my current job and he can't afford to hire anyone if I'm not there. I don't make any money, I just get all my bills paid. If we have a good week in sales, I might get some spending money, but that's about it. It's not like he takes a lot of money for himself and things he wants. He actually goes without things he needs and buys me things. For example, he really needs health insurance, but there's only enough money for mine, so I'm the only one who has it. I might hate this job, but it has put a roof over our heads and food on the table, so I have to carry on. I just miss having someone else to come home to that I actually enjoyed. I suppose I do punish him with my negative attitude. I do not do this intentionally. I don't blame him for my failures with my career. I am just so depressed and it is hard for me to act happy. It is hard for me to feel like I want to be intimate too, but I do make sure that we are intimate at least a few times per week, which isn't enough for him, but it is the most I can do. He never forces me or anything, but he does complain a lot if he doesn't get bonding every other day or so. And yes, I agree it is wrong of me not to contribute financially, which is why no matter how much I hate it, I continue to go to work 6 days a week. However, we don't work well together. We get frustrated with each other a lot, but where my frustration usually just turns into tears and me wanting to be alone, his frustration turns into him calling me names. His favorite name for me is stupid or B, or a combination of the two. Every time I make a mistake, I'm called stupid. I'm told how stupid I am at least 3 times every week. Even small things that can easily fix cause him to blow up. It's not like he never compliments me or apologizes, he does. But I feel like the compliments are canceled out by the insults, which are much more frequent. He does give me opportunities to learn new things, but the trouble is they are things I have no interest in, like doing the taxes, for example. I do have resentment toward him because he holds me back from looking for work other places. I'm told that I can't quit because he needs me and he can't afford to hire a replacement. He says that I spent too long looking before and now I just need to work. I also feel like he ignores my needs outside of work. I enjoy going out and socializing with others. It could be anywhere, dinner, a play, an art museum, or just for a walk. He never wants to leave the house unless it is to go to the office to work. We recently received as a Christmas gift from his mother a gift card to a nice restaurant. He refuses to take me. When I say I have needs, he says, "What are you, a prostitute? If I take you out to dinner we can sleep together." Why is it so wrong for me to want to do things other than work for him? He does not like going out, I get it. But isn't marriage about compromise, and doing things you don't want to do sometimes to make the other person happy? To clarify, he calls both me and the blog stupid. If I make a mistake at work, I'm told I'm stupid. Or if I think he's handling something wrong with a customer and I express my opinion, I'm stupid and an immature kid who doesn't know how the world works. It's usually just when he's stressed. And yes, when my husband says if you apply for other jobs, I will ruin it, and has gone into my email account and sent emails to employers saying, "Sorry, I applied for this by accident, please delete my application. It's safe to say I can't apply for other jobs." He did not do this 3 years ago when I was applying for work. That failure was all my fault, not his. But now that I work for him, he says I need to just stick with it unless I can make $50,000 per year, up from $12 an hour it was last month, or more. And with only secretarial experience, that isn't going to happen. I'm stuck until his business becomes so successful that he can hire whoever he wants. I never said I shouldn't have to work. I could never just sit around all day, that's not my personality. But what is wrong with me wanting to do something I enjoy? I'm not unrealistic. By fulfilling I meant something that challenges me and that I at least somewhat like doing. I did not mean a perfect dream job, as I realize those don't really exist. I did work temp jobs before while I was applying for other jobs. I was a receptionist, a waitress, even a real estate agent assistant for a little while. But I wanted to keep looking for something permanent. When I wasn't working, I was doing all of the housework, cooking, laundry, etc. I never just sat around. I always contributed something. I also contributed all of the small inheritance I got from a family member who died to his business. It wasn't much, but I didn't spend any of it on things I wanted. I did believe it was fair to do the chores, which is why I did them. I'm just trying to emphasize the point that I wasn't just sitting around all day. How do I have the luxury of a husband who is willing to support a wife? When I work, maybe my tasks aren't as challenging, but that's because he prefers to handle that stuff, not because I'm not willing to. I work 50+ hours per week and then come home and do 100% of the chores and cooking. I do them because I realize how stressed he is and I don't complain or mind. While I'm cooking dinner, he lays in bed and reads and relaxes. That's his time and I respect it. Then he gets food put in front of him. All he has to do is put his dishes in the sink. Then he usually gets a back rub from me because I do appreciate him. But I also feel that it isn't wrong for me to want to pursue things that make me happy, while also fulfilling responsibilities at home or financially the best I can. All I'm saying is I want to move on to other things. I want to work, I want to contribute, I want to bring in income and use it to pay for half or more of the bills. I just want it to be doing something that I at least somewhat like. Why should I have to do what he wants me to do? Just because we are married does not mean I am not an individual capable or deserving of making her own life choices. I wasn't going to say this, but now I feel I have to. Our work is also paying off his personal debt he brought into the marriage. I brought no debt into the marriage. He made a lot of stupid choices in his early and mid-20s and racked up a lot of credit card debt, which this business, which includes the work I do, is paying off. That's part of the reason why we live so frugally. We make payments on his debt every month that eats into money we could use to enjoy ourselves. And he never had health insurance even before we met. Here is my plan I have formed after reading the helpful responses and ignoring the unhelpful ones. 1. I am going to write up a policy and make him sign it. No name calling at work, and he only talks to me with respect. I am going to take an hour of vacation time for every time I am called stupid. I don't think I should have to tolerate that, and I know he wouldn't do it to other people. When his father, who does some volunteer work, makes a mistake, H never calls him names. So why is it okay to call me names? In turn, I will keep my negativity and unhappiness to myself and work on changing my attitude internally as well. I will work on finding positive things about the business and focus on that. 2. This can't go on forever and needs a concrete end date. He said it was temporary and he needs to honor that. It is not fair that just because we are married, I need to also be married to his dreams and goals and completely ignore my own. This does not mean I can go home and do hobbies all day or sit around. I need to work full-time and bring in as much income as possible and continue working toward being the best I can be professionally. 3. Work stays at work. When we are not working, we need to be working on our relationship. I don't want to hear about customers when I'm trying to eat dinner and relax at home. I also believe we need to do more together, whether that is in the home or outside of it. 4. He needs to respect my hobbies and interests and not discourage me from pursuing things I want to pursue in my own free time. In turn, I need to respect his business and do my absolute best every time I'm at work. 5. If there is a divorce, he can have the business and the money from it. I have no interest in collecting money from work I don't do because I wouldn't be working there if we were divorced. I also have no interest in taking half his business if it comes to divorce. I wouldn't even want it. I wouldn't want to be connected to him any longer. My comment: finds a new job. Find a new husband while you are at it. His attitude about you came through loud and clear.